County Commissioner Bill Truex to the studio.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well.
So how is it now? You've been doing this about 3-4 months now.
Time flies.
It does.
I mean, it just seems like I raised my hand and took the oath the other day, and here we are, a few meetings into it and a few months down the road, and I'm very much enjoying it. I find it challenging, which is great. I certainly wouldn't want it to be boring, but it's not. There's a lot of research and reading and things like that to do that is really broadening my horizons, I think, opening my eyes to a lot of things, and it's been enjoyable, actually.
What are some of the things that you didn't expect?
Some of the phone calls we get about really minor things that I would never have had imagined that county commissioners actually got phone calls for. And sometimes that's generated because they feel like they haven't gotten a response, or they haven't gotten quick enough action. So sometimes it stems from that. Other times it's just, I need my swale cleaned out front. It's not draining properly and things like that. And they don't know who to call, and they want to call their representative. So
and that's what you're there for.
And that's what I'm there for. And so that's the one thing that probably surprised me. The rest of it, not so much. I mean, I pretty much expected it. And, everybody's asked, well, how have you transitioned in? How's that going? And I said about the first week, I think I was, in pretty good shape as far as the transition. Some of the protocols, of how we have to find things out, if you will, or get information from staff. We have to be careful about how we address staff and how we deal with things. So when we need information, we have to go through certain channels to make sure we do it the proper way and things aren't misconstrued. Because we don't want to be considered as giving direction to county staff. We're supposed to be, we have our conversations with our administrator. We get to talk with directors, obviously, we get updates on things, but, we just need to be very cautious about how we proceed, which is, having a business, you're used to going to the source, asking a question, getting an answer, agreeing, disagreeing, and moving forward.
Doesn't work that way in government.
It doesn't work that way, so, that's one of the inefficiencies that I'd like to figure out a better way to handle it, but.
Well, I imagine, as a contractor, you've had a lot of dealings with county government over the years, so a lot of this is probably old hat.
It is. Again, I guess that's probably where I have a little bit of frustration is that I'm used to calling up staff, as a builder, and I go in and I get a permit. If I have a question about something, whether it's a zoning issue, a permitting issue, whatever, I'm used to calling somebody and just asking them, I need more detail on this. Can you explain this to me? And it just doesn't work quite that easily anymore. So,
speaking of calling, if you have a question for Commissioner Truex, all you have to do is dial up 941-206-1580, toll free 888-441-1580. Any highlights from yesterday's meeting?
Well, let's see. I received an email this morning, and it was referencing. We had an issue on the agenda where we had a property that we had leased or rented, and it was an option to buy, and there were some difficulties and challenges, and I had to go through an eviction process, which they had already vacated the premises at this point, but it brought up a discussion about funding mortgages because somebody might be this close to being able to qualify, and that was about an inch. For people who can't see me, but that somebody who gets close to being able to qualify for a mortgage and can't. The suggestion was, well, maybe the county should get involved in that, and my heart skipped a beat. I don't think that we want to get involved in that, and I instead of getting into the discussion that was relative to the email I got this morning, which is government shouldn't be in the lending business. That's an argument that I agree with, but I just focused on. If you can imagine the discussion we're having today about an eviction and the heartache with having to put somebody on the street from an eviction process, can you imagine the discussion we would have about foreclosing on somebody? So, just that aspect alone is enough for me to say no, but you get into the other side of it, there are banks for a reason, and we can have discussions about all that too, but at the same time, that's not a business that the county should be involved in, and that's my take on it. There's other entities for that. And there's plenty of assistance out there.
Who seemed to? How did any of the other commissioners feel it was a good thing to get involved in helping people get a mortgage?
No, I think that kind of fell a little bit flat.
I hope so.
I just know that I'll speak for myself today,
Mhm.
and I was pretty strongly against that.
Yeah.
So that was something that kind of stuck with me from yesterday's meeting. Yeah. It was a pretty low key meeting yesterday.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I didn't